All right, and good morning, Jade from QRC. How are you today? Are you well?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are
Yeah.
you?
We're in a strange time at the moment, aren't we, with this whole lockdown? And it's great to connect with you online and chat a little bit about the presentation that we developed recently for Queenstown Resort College. And I know that at Queenstown Resort College, you had a set of presentations towards the end of last year, and you were kind of looking at how you could change them and how you could make them better. What was the main challenges that you sort of felt were when you were typically presenting to students? You go out and present a lot to students. What were the main challenges you were finding with the presentation, and how could it be improved? What did you want to do with it?
Yeah, so the main challenge that I was coming across was we were given a 50-minute to 60-minute slot, and actually keeping the students engaged and not just having to sit there and listen for those 50, 60 minutes. Sometimes it was after a lunch break and they were a bit restless or a bit tired, and actually just having their attention for the whole time was really important for us to get all the information that we wanted to across to them and actually sink in.
Cool. So one of the ways we helped you with that was by providing with these little keypads, which are a little voting keypad, or it could be done via an app if you were using an online, as in this new world we are now using much more Zoom presentations. So how did you find the use of these keypads and the fact that the audience were kind of connected and you started a dialogue with them? How did you find that?
Yes, every single class that I've used the devices with have given me really great feedback from the moment they walk into the class. It's something a bit new and exciting. All students, I would imagine, hadn't seen the devices before. And just even picking it up when they walked into the classroom, it added a bit of excitement, something that was a bit different to their typical class, something that already they were wanting to engage and listen to how to use it from the get-go. We really noticed, particularly towards the second half of the presentation, when students were maybe drifting off a little, that it definitely, when they saw it, the question come up on the screen, you could see them kind of sit up in their seat and, their attention goes back
Yeah, I
to
think
the presentation.
everyone loves to kind of, win a prize or be involved in some sort of game. So by gamifying the
Absolutely.
presentation, by creating those questions, it kind of really creates a little game moment, doesn't it? And people love the concept of winning something. So, it
It
feels
does.
feels more. So, I mean, in the current world where we're moving at the moment, much more to online presentations, I think that we can investigate how to do that, sort of online with people's phones. I mean, you could be playing a game while you're actually connecting with the audience online. They could be looking at their phones and they could have the app on their phone, and then they could play a game that way as well. So you ask them a question and it kicks that off. So that's something we should look at as we move forward. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's really important, especially when you're not there in person. You don't have that, personal interaction that through a screen and through a camera. Attention span can be even shorter than what you have in face
Yeah,
to face.
the real challenge we're finding with these types of meetings is the online meeting is the lack of presence, the lack of kind of charisma and the feeling of presence with the audience, which can be challenging for people. But, there are certain skills that we can use to do that in terms of setting up the camera and how we connect with people. So, yeah, I mean, looking at forward, I think that we're going to see more app-based gamification. In New Zealand here, we have different free ones like Kahoot, for example.
Mm.
Kahoot is an online way that you can create a little quiz, and you could be running that in parallel with a Zoom or a WebEx. So yeah, there's different
Mm.
ways that we could do that. The other thing we did is we worked a lot on the actual content of the presentation, and I feel that's going to change again as time moves forward. So how did you find the redesign of the slides, and also most notably the Zoom function, which essentially uses this Logitech Spotlight, which is a remote control for presenters? But how did you find the zooming function where you've got a couple of slides where you can move around and you don't create that kind of linear presentation? You actually interactively connect with the audience and ask what they want to focus on. Do you use that much?
Um, yes, we used it only when applicable. Most of our sessions, the students hadn't, seen me present or seen the presentation before, so they didn't really know what else that they could be choosing. But some of the Year 13 groups that I spoke to last year, I had much more flexibility to skip areas that may not have been applicable for their year group. But also being able to not have to go back to the computer every time I wanted to switch up where I was going in the presentation or what videos I was opening, being able to use the Logitech Spotlight to use the screen and use the Spotlight from a distance to mix and match what I was about to present next was certainly really helpful. And it actually it was a bit more captivating for the students because they were kind of keen to look at what sort of options they had and what was happening on the screen. So I think it also helped to keep their attention for a longer period of time.
Yeah, I think it's all about just grabbing their attention and keeping them sort of engaged. And I think that's tough in any environment, but with students and digitally connected kind of Gen Zs or even, you know, millennials, it's got to be a tough call in these days. But look, it was a real pleasure working with you on this project, and thank you very much, and look forward to doing some more as we move forward. So cheers, and thanks for meeting and chatting with us today.
Thank you so much.